YouTube, hello MGTOW, this is me, MGTOW-To. One thing about me is, like, I like to try to I understand that when we get women asking questions about the manosphere, and there are some that are legitimately curious. But I'm gonna put this warning out there to women in general. The more you prod at us, the more you say that we're toxic, the more toxic we'll become to you. To you. We will become more toxic as you prod us, as you poke us. But all of that, for the most part, leave my truth alone until she proves otherwise. Now, this one's to my truth. This video is going to be rational. You're probably not gonna like what I've got to say. But you would probably rather me say it than many other you would probably rather me say it than many other MGTOW. Now, I've watched your whole video. You haven't said anything malicious. You haven't said anything backbiting. You haven't said anything in a negative light. I appreciate that. And a lot of the other men, a lot of the other people with like minds, I appreciate it. To answer your question, now, the comment I left in your comment section is part of my experience. It's part of it. Just the tip of the iceberg. Think about, and I'm gonna get into that later on. Now, there are men in MGTOW that have been married and ran through the coals and divorce court system. Now, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not a lot of people in Pittsburgh are able to connect some dots, or at least connect with a rational of speculation. I live in a city where the mental health, the cardiology unit, the radiology unit, and the stroke unit are among the best in the country. And being that I've seen my uncle go through physical abuse, and my brother and my brother go through some mental abuse, emotional abuse, it's not hard to ask why is the healthcare system in Pittsburgh so good in those areas. It's not hard to ask why. It's not hard to speculate why the healthcare system is so good in those areas. Heck, the trauma unit's even good. You know? The trauma unit's even good. You know? It's crazy. Now, that's just some of the reasons. I don't want to put I typically, I went MGTOW to keep myself out of harm, both physically, mentally, and emotional, as well as spiritually. Other men would MGTOW for a lot of other reasons. What you're scratching is the tip of the iceberg. The very tip of the iceberg. And feel that you didn't come at MGTOW sideways like most women. I'm still not backing off. Still not backing my stance off. I'm still not going to back my stance off. But I appreciate that you didn't come at MGTOW with disrespect. Now, for the most part, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Which it goes a lot deeper than you're scratching. I want you, it's worldwide. You already know this. And I understand your concern about your son. On why you go and MGTOW. Because your son is teenager, right? There's a lot of views of MGTOW. A lot. One of the ways, that's why they call it MGTOW, because it's men going their own way. Because we have different views. We have a lot of different views. We pretty much, for the most part, we live the bachelor lifestyle. Many of us do. Me, I'm a truck driver. I chose that profession. Never been married. I had 2 girlfriends in my life. 2. And in between those 2 was like maybe about 10 plus years. 10 plus years of space in between them. Yes, I had a bit of one-night stands. But 10 plus years, I still have less one-night stands than a lot of other men. Because I didn't seek that out for myself. Now, the question you ask is what is it about? What do we do? We work on our education. We work on skills that want to learn. The majority of the things that I've learned are self-taught. Are self-taught. What I mean by self-taught? Exactly what it is. Or hands-on. But we don't want to date for the most part. We don't want a long-term committed relationship for the most part, especially the monks. Now, what I'm about to say is probably going to shock you. It's probably going to disturb you. These are not my views. There are a lot of MGTOW that would say giving women the right to vote was a mistake. I am not one of them. I do not believe in taking the rights of another human being. But for the most part, I understand your concern. I understand what happens when your son goes, if your son decides to go to MGTOW. And quite frankly, anybody below the age of 18 that goes MGTOW, it's a tragedy to me. To me, it's a tragedy. But it happens. Especially when they get falsely accused of things that they didn't do. And the accusee and the accuser gets no reprimand, or barely any reprimand. But this video may have gone on a little too long, but I'm just saying, we were created. We were created. The MGTOW was created. MGTOW was created by feminists. I call them the domestic terrorists. That's what they are. But for the most part, I am scratching the surface. You are scratching the surface when it comes to MGTOW. This is MGTOW in the Wind, signing off.